everyone. Welcome to YLC Entrepreneurship 2022. Congratulations for all that have been, selected into the program. We've already seen like some of the businesses in the sign-up form with when everyone was telling us about their businesses and what they're doing. Very exciting cohort, very different sectors, very different businesses. So we look forward in getting and working with all of you. So my name is Ati Khoekulu to everyone, and together with Zinhle, who is going to turn her camera on as well, is the head of the YLC Entrepreneurship Committee. So my professional background is that I'm an actuarial specialist, and I am now a full-time entrepreneur. So my startup is in the e-learning space in educational technology, and we are currently based in South Africa as well as the Edinburgh Business School in the United Kingdom. And our main goal is to just get kids excited about mathematics so that they can get into the STEM career. So I joined YLC Entrepreneurship as part of the first cohort, which was last year. And I can say that from my experience, I've learned a lot. My startup has really grown from A to B in various ways. But I think for me, the most important thing about the YLC community is the community aspects of it. Because, being an entrepreneur, the journey can be lonely. So I actually went on a path with ladies who have become sort of lifelong support friends who are also in their various businesses as well. So that's why I'm so excited in meeting all of you. And I'm just going to hand over to Zinhle to say a couple of words as well.
Thank you, Ati. Hi, everyone. I'm the co-head of this pillar alongside Ati, and I'm happy to have you all here. Please note our official hashtag for today is YLC Be Your Own Boss, because that's what all of you ladies are. So don't forget to use that on social media. And I'll take it back to Ati to take it away.
Okay, and just to add more, so Zinhle also owns a remarkable digital marketing company called See the One Pitch. I'm doing the 1 minute pitch, as well. So yeah, and I already saw that we have some people who are in that space as well. So lots of learning that will be happening across one another. So yeah, to officially kick off the program, I want to acknowledge our Madam Chair. So she is who is on this call, Ms. Shemaine. So she will also be giving just a warm welcome to the cohort of 2022. Madam Chair, if you could take it away.
Thank you so much, Ati. Thank you. And again, welcome to everyone who is joining us this evening. I must say, for me, it's so heartwarming to see that people like Ati, Matapelo, Tando, Zinhle, they're all actually joining us from cohort 1, which is absolutely phenomenal because I think they cut their teeth. And I think they cut their teeth quite deeply just in terms of the learning processes. And when I look at them today, I'm like, oh my goodness, like how did this cohort grow so phenomenally, and how did they actually, achieve so much in the space of a year? And again, I think it is possible. I think Ati spoke about her business operating abroad, and I actually saw a very interesting statistic today, which was quite interesting for me, that the GDP contribution from South Africa's SMMEs lags significantly from other regions globally. So 39% compared with 57% in the EU, which is quite a big gap, right? Because I think, again, South Africa is still at that stage where we pay lip service to SMMEs, and worse, not just SMMEs, I think to Black women-owned businesses. We haven't yet gotten to that stage where we are invited to the table, and we're invited because of what we actually bring to the table. So I actually work full-time. I'm not an SMME, thank God. I just don't think I have the grit to be an SMME, although I do own a majority shareholding in a software company that is, I think, I'm hoping and crossing fingers, starting to crawl out of the SMME stage and enter a big business stage. But I know for a fact that as a shareholder and as an investor in that business for the past 15 years, it's been a rough patch. It's been a very difficult patch. There were times when there were lots of tears. There were times when there were many losses. There were times when there was deep frustration and deep division and divisiveness. But, again, I think what encourages me, I think, is, again, a study I read earlier for a launch that we're actually doing in the technology space, where McKinsey actually acknowledges that SMMEs are actually the lifeblood of any economy. But sadly enough, while it's the lifeblood, it's also the sector that's most at risk. And again, SMMEs in South Africa actually account or represent more than 98% of business. And you'll remember, I know all of you are too young to remember this, but when the National Development Plan was first launched by Trevor Manuel, many, many years ago with, the former Minister Jeff Radebe, they actually cited that it's not the corporates that are creating jobs and innovating, it's actually the SMMEs. And McKinsey actually acknowledges and affirms that SMMEs employ between 50 and 60% of the country's workforce across all sectors. We're starting to see more and more that big corporates and big businesses are actually moving away from these big, heavy targets, and they're actually starting to slow down in terms of creating sustainable jobs, which I think is always critical, right? I think the sustainable jobs portion is what becomes relevant to SMMEs. And I think the good thing with SMMEs is that you are not just responsible for creating jobs for yourselves, but you're also responsible for creating jobs that span across families, communities. And I think, again, that's something that corporates don't do very well. We don't do very good in terms of injecting that revitalization of township economies. I know it's something we've spoken about for a very long time, but again, I think we're starting to also see that exciting space. And for many of you on the call, like Matapelo, myself, who actually are in the world of digitization and in the world of technology, we're starting to see the phenomenal enabling opportunities that digitization brings. Prior to the pandemic, we didn't realize just how powerful ICT connectivity was and how we could be communicating with each other on such a phenomenal space. And all of these platforms suddenly just exploded. And we now realize that a cell phone is not just a tool to make calls and to take pictures. It's something that you communicate with. It's something that you build businesses with. And I think, again, so many of these free apps and so many of the free platforms that a lot of the big multinationals, especially the US firms, are starting to offer are also quite phenomenal, just in terms of how you can grow and develop the business. But I like what Ati says. I'm less interested, I think, in terms of all the clever gadgets, and I'm more interested in the collective that people bring together, because I think it's this sort of sisterhood. It's this leaning on each other and opening up opportunities that's really going to catapult your sector. And I think especially this sort of pillar into great things. So I'm really excited to hear from everyone. I must also acknowledge Ms. Futhi Mtoba, who's on the call with us. So as the Young Leaders Connect Forum, we actually report directly into the IWFSA, International Women's Forum of South Africa, Leadership Development Committee, which Mamfuti actually chairs. Mamfuti is also quite a phenomenal and incredible force behind the work she does on Wikona, which is the pillar 5 around creating sustainable Black women-owned businesses. And Mamfuti actually shared a stage with President Ramaphosa, sharing that at least 50% of government opportunities in business should be given to women. And banks should also rethink and reimagine how they actually give out business loans as well, and how this equation should actually be factored when loans are actually given over to women. So welcome, Mamfuti. I'm going to hand over to you just to do a hello. I'm sure the team is ecstatic that you actually joined us, and you're always one of our biggest supporters and cheerleaders. And for that, we're actually so proud. And I love how when you stepped off the stage, President said to you, don't push for 50% women-owned. You are worth so much more than 50%. And actually, that makes me so proud that this is actually a legacy, Mamfuti, that's being led by you.
Good afternoon. Is the video on Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. So I don't want to steal the show from our young leaders. I just wanted to say to you all welcome and thank you to Charmaine for her leadership and all the executive of the young leaders. I look forward to today and welcoming our new entrepreneurs. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mamfuti. It's always good, just your support is really just phenomenal. And thank you, Madam Chair, as well. So really what you've said is quite important, that small businesses are actually the heartbeat of our economies. And if we invest in small businesses and if we really just support them, there's so much more in terms of the multiplier effect that society as a whole largely is going to see. But over and above that, women-owned businesses, I think that's another highlight as well, just to be a little bit of a force behind some of these ladies and the remarkable work that they're doing. So there's a lot of talk, but I think in the next couple of years, really what we want to see is a lot of action, regarding supporting small businesses, especially women-owned one, because so many people have thrown in the towel, especially in terms of COVID and the impact that it's had. So we really, as YLC, want to create that opportunity where we actually just support. We support one another as we are actually growing from A to B. Okay, so Zinhle and I are just going to speak briefly about the program, what to expect this year. It's quite exciting. It's a lot of ideas and a lot of things that we've put together just to create that spark, and you also create that momentum and that support. So I think, Zinhle, once you can add in as I go, because I have the PowerPoint. So today is just the induction, just to get to know, to welcome you guys, and immediately after we are going to be sending some information for you to complete. So this is essentially just getting to know your business. So are you an early stage business, or are you in the idea phase, or have you been trading for 5 years? What are the challenges that your business is facing? What support do you think could be impactful for you? Because obviously we're all entrepreneurs, but everyone's journey is very unique. So ranging from support that you need, and some people need access to markets, some people need access to finance, some people. So what are those challenges? What do you think could be a game changer? And if really you're looking at I'd say 1 year in economics, we call it a short term. So what are some of your short-term goals, and what are some of your long-term goals? So we'll be sending that out for all the successful entrepreneurs to complete. And also we will share that across the group as well, so that you know who's in the same business as you, who's a potential client to you, you know who's a potential partner. Because first of all, we want to leverage this community that we are in. I know, Tando does PR, this person does something else, other people are in construction, we have people who are in sustainable energy. So essentially, we'll create that document for you. We'll send that out for you to complete. And then our first event actually will be on the 6th of April. And here it's a digital virtual event, which is called Funding for Your Business. So here we'll be having some experts that will be coming in, telling us, first of all, their stories in terms of business, how they went from A to B and how they've grown. So very successful entrepreneurs. And essentially they'll be telling their stories, but we found it necessary to have someone specifically who is operating in South Africa, who is coming from a corporate finance background, who's also coming who's also a venture capitalist herself, to actually come and actually just chat to you guys about where is the money, where do you get the money, so she'll be talking about that, and she'll just, because her experience is quite broad as well, so she'll be able to just highlight, what to expect in terms of the DFIs, in terms of like banks, and also in terms of just the VC space. I know the private equity space in South Africa is still very small. So what are some of the challenges there, and what are some of the opportunities there? And really, how can we actually link, or expose our YLC entrepreneurs to those spaces? So, and how to do your pitches and all of that. So that's like the first actual conversations that we'll be having. And we also have a surprise guest as well, that we can't, at this stage, we can't really disclose, but she will be coming from our mother body, which is IWFSA, who's a remarkable, well-known business woman in South Africa, across different, she's a powerhouse, basically. She's a powerhouse, and really that's just to inspire everyone, but also to just show that it is possible, and also that you're able to ask them questions. How do I go from A to B? How do I do this? So that's what we want to leverage, especially out of the IWFSA, organization. And then after that, we have the Stellenbosch Business School. Zinhle, I don't know if you can just chat a little bit more about that one. Okay, Zinhle. Okay, so I think Zinhle is busy behind the scenes as well. So I'll just continue for now. Okay, so last year we were part of this entrepreneurship program with the Stellenbosch Business School. So essentially, I think it was about 6 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, of virtual learning with Stellenbosch Business School around entrepreneurship. So the program essentially was everything. It was very robust. It was essentially everything from setting up your MVP to your finance models to this. It was actually very good for a lot of us that we're running businesses from. It also had elements of corporate governance. And at the end of it, we were able to get, a nice entrepreneurship certificate as well. So we'll be doing this program again, I think around probably May. So we will be sending information about how to get involved with that to the entrepreneurs that are interested. So yeah, it was a very remarkable one. We had a lot of good feedback when we were doing it, and it was also not time consuming because I think we only had one session per week, and it was very, 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 very informative. So so I think that's the one program that I think you can definitely look forward to, because at the end of it, you do also get a certificate or from Stellenbosch Business School to say that you are a certified entrepreneur, as well. And then after that, we will be having one of our new events, which is the IDEAL Entrepreneurship Competition. So the idea for this is really just putting, money where our mouth is. So essentially what we'll be doing here is that we'll work with a variety of partners, and we will have a competition which we will communicate as the year goes on. And in this competition, we will get entrepreneurs that are, that are part of YLC to actually just pitch. We will have a theme, and we will actually have proper grand prizes. At the entrepreneurship event. So so this is definitely something to look forward to, and we will be having a couple of partners on board. And really, what we want to do with this is really just highlight some of the businesses that are in this cohort in terms of what they're doing, the impact as well, because that they're having just in general in society. So we'll be sending out communication around that. And yeah, so we will also be communicating the grand prizes as well. And we'll be working with a variety of partners. So yeah, so that's a new, that's definitely like a new part of the program this year. Oh, yay, thank you. Okay, yeah, so there we are. So you guys can see now. Thank you, Sinclair. So yeah, so that's the ideal entrepreneurship competition. So this will be a physical event, which will be happening on the 31st of August. And all venues and everything else will be announced as we go through the year. But definitely, I have to say that I am personally looking forward to this one. It's just really to highlight all our trailblazers really, and to just support our businesses as well. So yeah, we're not sure what the grand prize is at this point, but it's definitely going to be grand. So yeah, and then then after that, we will be having an event together with Conversations. So yeah, this is a September physical event, and there will be awards, and we will actually be selecting the Entrepreneur of the Year award. So this will be part of the Leadership Summit, which is meant to happen in September, and YLC Conversation is leading that event. So there will be an YLC award ceremony, and we will be sponsoring the Entrepreneur of the Year award. So yeah, so everyone who's got successes or they're doing incredible things in their businesses as well, you can share that with us in our group, or by emailing us, so that we can see some of the magnificent things that our entrepreneurs are doing. And then the other event that we're having is the governance training. So this is in partnership with the YLC board board leadership pillar. So here the main purpose of this training is because when you're an entrepreneur, you automatically become a director, so, and a lot of us and a variety of people, especially who don't come from a finance background, when it comes to governance and knowing in terms of the Companies Act what they're supposed to be doing, what is mandatory, what is not, they absolutely have no idea. So this training is essentially just to highlight what it is in terms of the fiduciary duties that as someone who's a hashtag be your own boss is, what are some of the responsibilities? Because at the end of the day, you're running a company. So this governance training will be in partnership with the board leadership pillar, as well as the Institute of Directors. So we will also be communicating how this is going to work as we get more information from the board leadership pillar. So yeah, so that's another phenomenal, I think, just like training that I think we as entrepreneurs actually need. And also, I mean, if you do in the future decide to sit on a board somewhere else other than your own, at least you have that holistic training, whether you're a non-executive director in the future. So that's what I wanted. Well, that's what we wanted to have, that's why we wanted to actually create this part of the program. And then lastly, we are going to have a graduation ceremony, which is to say that you have successfully completed the program. So this will be a physical event in partnership with all the other YLC pillars. So which is in November. So yeah, so I think that's the overall program that we've set up for the year. There's a lot that's going to be happening. I have to say it's not set in stone. So there will be some pop-up things that we want to do, or sometimes the ideas will come from you or from what suggestions in the WhatsApp group. So we have a little bit of flexibility, and I think we've put time in such that if we want to actually incorporate a couple of those things, we can actually just be able to. So yeah, so I think that's the overall program for, in a nutshell, in terms of like the main events that will be happening. So generally we communicate on our WhatsApp group. So please make sure that you're part of that, as well as our emails. And yeah, so I think that's it. So now I think, I'm not sure if Zinhle, are you back now to just hand us over to the breakaway sessions?
Yes, sure. Let me just start that.
As Zinhle starts the breakaway sessions, I also noticed Triforsa Romano has joined us. Triforsa is such an incredible leader who started off as, actually, she started the program with International Women's Forum of South Africa. Triforsa is also a board member of IWFSA. And like Mamfuti got to just talk about, you know, how she supports you guys, I think we wouldn't even be having this conversation tonight if it was not for Triforsa. So I'm so happy that she's joining us, because she's our guiding light. She's often the one who keeps us on track and pulls us together and reminds us of things that must be done. So thank you, Tri, for joining us this evening. We're so happy to have you with us.
Okay. Welcome, Mom Tri. Okay, so now we're just gonna move into the breakout sessions, and just for a 15-minute discussion. So so if you could just click, I think everyone has been assigned to a breakout session, and we'll just discuss a couple of things, and then after 15 minutes we are going to head back to the main room.
That's good. Unmute at Ati.
Okay, so thank you everyone. So I think the breakaway sessions were very insightful. I don't know if we can take maybe 1 minute to just have people from the breakaway sessions to just highlight, you know, some of the key points of their engagement. Doesn't have to be long, probably a minute per group. I think we had 5 groups, if I'm mistaken. So we'll start with mine, and I think we already had a volunteer from my group. Okay. If she can just come, I forgot her name now. So if she can just, Mariska, yeah, Mariska.
Yes.
Yes, please. If you could just give a quick summation, less than a minute.
Okay, awesome. So in the breakaway session, we just pretty much chatted about our businesses, just insights of what we're currently struggling with, being an SMME, and just sort of what keeps us going. So a lot of the other members of the group did say that things like yoga and specific sporting activities and just prayer as well is quite a big thing, and just getting you going obviously through this time. So yeah, I just really enjoyed the session, and yeah, I'm not sure what else I should be mentioning, but yeah.
Thank you so much, Mariska. If we can have someone from Breakaway 2.
I don't know who was on breakaway too. I know Nanaki was on our session.
Yeah, I think it's group 3.
Okay, shall we go to group 3 then?
Yeah. Okay, hi everyone. My name is Nanaki Sisana. I'm from the Free State. So basically, actually, I got in late into the group, but yeah, awesome people in our group. And I think the common thread in our group was the importance of networking, and also just as women working together and open doors for each other, and just the value of women empowerment, and really just seizing opportunities by making use of the different networks that we have. And also the importance of, or the role actually, that SMMEs play in the country. I think that's one of the distinctive things that we talked about, and that it's so important that just making sure that as women, or even in this group, this entrepreneurship program, that we network and make use of the opportunities that are available to us. So yeah, I think that's what stood out for me in our group.
All right, thank you so much. If we can have someone from Breakaway 4.
Hi, Ati. In Breakaway 4, I'm an inspiring group of incredible women doing amazing things. So we listened largely to their pitch and what they're passionate about. And the common thread is all about impact and sustainability as well. So Lethakonolo, who obviously comes from cohort 1 as well, she's in ESG, she's building a green app. And then Refilwe, she's doing inspiring work as well. She's a 4th year civil engineering and focusing on flipping student apartments, but just creating a safe space and beautiful places to make them like a bit of a home for themselves. And then we're also inspired by Puleng. Puleng, she's a pilot. She's an airline pilot, and but incredibly, she's doing she in her business is called Kikombe, which is bringing together African brands, like allowing people to learn as well and exposing African brands across, so that we're able to trade amongst ourselves even as Africans, because I think we all know that is one of the issues we're struggling with. So I think that is incredible. And there's also an opportunity that Mamfuti has presented around the free trade. So I think it will be coming up through the conversation as we go along. But thank you for this. It was amazing.
All right. Wow, exciting. And then the last, I think, Breakaway 5.
Hi, so I'll be presenting on behalf of Breakaway 5. My goodness, I think I'm just overwhelmed, by that powerhouse of, ladies that were in that Breakaway session. We've got Fundi, who's in politics / defense / military. We've got, I think it was Maria, who's in engineering, myself, who my background is in financial services, but with a passion or have a side hustle of interior design. We also have, we had Tando, 2 Tandos actually, and then I think we also had, I'm not sure who the last one, Gertrude. So I think the highlights in our Breakaway session was just about being passionate about women and the youth, educating the youth and empowering the youth. So yeah, I think Tando is involved in marketing, but she's currently doing law, if I'm not mistaken. So everyone's just involved in exciting, in exciting activities, and I just look forward to learning more about everyone. Thanks.
Okay, thank you for all of that feedback. I mean, yeah, I'm also sending some emojis. I think, yeah, all the Breakaway sessions indeed just highlighted the variety of the sectors that we have and the women that we have. So it's really, really quite an exciting journey. It's going to be an incredible couple of months. So I think the most important thing is that you really lean into the networks, but you just also lean into the program as well, because there's a lot of value indeed that you will get out of it. So I'm going to hand over to Mamchai to do a closing for us. But actually, before we do that, I'm just going to open it for questions.
Sorry, Ati, we have 2 hands up from Sia and Gertrude.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I was just opening questions up just now, so that's perfect timing. So you guys are welcome to just pop stuff on the chat in terms of feedback or any comments that you currently have. Yes, so if we can please have Sia, what is your question?
Question, but a comment. Don't we all hate it when we get those people in the presentations that say that? But actually, you know what? I would like to confess that we were part of cohort number 2, or rather not cohort number 2, but breakaway room 2, but we didn't know what number we were. So we were kind of just keeping quiet to see like which number we were. But we were cohort number 2. Our group mostly spoke about how terrifying it is to go into full-time entrepreneurship. We had a good time cackling about that. I think there were only 3 of us in the room, one of whom was Matapelo, who is part of the admin team. She's not in full-time just yet. She's at this point still full-time employed, but she has a side hustle at this point that focuses on finance. I believe it was helping businesses, small businesses particularly, understand their financing, to grip with their financials. We also have another lady, I think it was Pumzile Nhlapo. She is the founder and CEO of Homegrown. She does plant-based foods as well as juiced meals for people wanting to get into touch with their food journeys, as I understand it. And then finally, there's me. I have a strategy consultancy that focuses on creating value and value innovation. We help small to medium businesses and nonprofit organizations. But yeah, so sorry that we didn't know what our cohort number was. Our apologies.
No worries, no worries. Thank you so much for that insights, for those insights actually. So wow, I mean, like you're saying, it was like a group of such amazing entrepreneurs. So thank you so much for that. We had another hand. Zintle, where was the other hand from?
It was Gertrude.
It was actually a mistake.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. But nonetheless, I have opened up the floor to questions, comments, or any feedback before we hand over to Mamchai Fawcett to do a closing for us.
Thank you, Ati. I think, did you explain the way forward in terms of your program?
Yes. So we did, I think, did introduce what the plan of the year is going to be in terms of the events that we're going to have and where we'll be sending communication. Yeah. So we did do that earlier.
Okay. No, thank you very much, everyone. Where's my video? Where's my video? Can you see me? It's a little bit dark. Thank you very much, everybody. And thank you, Ati, for facilitating the session. And looking forward to the cohort 2 of entrepreneurship. And the most important thing is to make sure that we network with each other and support each other's businesses. You'll never know the power of collaboration, how important it is for the success of any business. And some of you at maybe the next session, Ati will speak about it. We can talk about Corner and the opportunities for the YLC entrepreneurship to be pulled into a corner initiative and be participating in terms of various streams of a corner. So that it's something that I would like us to mine in terms of YLC and corner. But I'm wishing you all the best, and hopefully by the end of the year, our cups will be full with the info, and our businesses would have expanded, and the collaboration would have been bigger. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mamchai. Thank you everyone for joining. Yeah, looking forward to chatting to everyone on the group, as well as just interacting with you as the year continues. So thank you so much for joining this evening, and may you have a lovely evening further. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Excuse
Thanks,
me.
everyone. Bye.
Auntie, in the corner, we take a
Sorry.
quick,
Thank
and
you.
we open the video and we take a picture, please.
Photo.
A
Okay.
photo.
Okay.
Can't just disappear so fast.
Yes. Who's taking a photo?
I'll take it.
Can you
Okay.
switch on the
Is everyone ready?
video?
Nikki, oh,
Your video, Mamfut.
okay. stoneage.com. It's not opening.
Yeah.
Zintle, are you closing me off now? Oh,
I'm
there you
not.
There it is.
Okay, are you ready? One,
Stoneage.com.
see ya, Mami. Let's see all the young
another
faces.
one,
Oh, wow, that's good. Mami
Wow.
Sola,
and last one.
Maria. Oh, Maria is up there now. Okay. Okay, you should have told us to put lipstick before that.
Next time.
Yes, see, I look forward to a fabulous
We will
year.
share the memo next time.
Thank you.